of your business. He'll play tonight.
All right, next question. Go right ahead.
Steve, Sean Finnegan, Fox 40. There's a lot of people in this town who have a curiosity about the Kings and what they look like in the postseason. For you and how well you know some of their personnel, obviously, especially with Mike, is there that same curiosity from your standpoint as you kind of game plan for this team?
No, there's no curiosity because we've seen them 4 times this year, watched them on tape a ton. We know who they are, and they've had a hell of a year. So great respect for the team they've built, and there's a reason they're here. There's a reason we're on the road right now in their building, because they've had a great regular season and they've put together a really good team.
Tony Harvey, NBC Sports Radio. Coach Kerr, back to Wiggins, if you don't mind me asking. What has he been doing to prepare to get back in? It's not like, he'll ever get playing basketball, but what has he been doing to prepare for this game?
Talking about in the last
Couple
weeks
weeks,
since he's been back, playing every day, shooting, in the training room, in the weight room, conditioning, rhythm, all of the above.
All right, Jason.
Hi, Steve. Jason Anderson with the Sacramento Bee. What kind of how do you think De'Aaron Fox's game might translate in kind of a playoff setting where the style of play is a little different?
I don't know how different the playoffs are. I think that's a little bit of a myth. I know, the biggest difference is that there's more preparation that goes into it, so both teams are going to be more on top of, the other team's actions and, combinations and stuff, but it's still the same game. We still have to slow him down in transition. The game doesn't necessarily slow down in the postseason. I think both these teams want to play with a lot of pace, and so there'll be plenty of transition opportunities for both of us, and so I don't really think that the game changes that much for anybody.
Anthony Slater with The Athletic. I remember even last year during the West Finals, you compared that Dallas offense to Houston offenses that you played in the past. I'm just curious, looking at this Kings team, obviously the offensive rating's way up there. Do they compare to you of another team offensively that you played in the past? And what do you just generally think about what they do?
I think they look like we did when we had Andrew Bogut. My first couple of years coaching, all the dribble handoff stuff, playing through Bogut, playing through Sabonis, shooting everywhere. Really very similar vibe, a lot of ball movement, a lot of flow, a lot of counter actions. So they've put together a really good offense, and it all makes sense. The puzzle fits, and the staff has done a great job of kind of suiting an offense to that talent.
Steve, you guys have been through a bunch of postseasons, obviously, but this regular season presented a lot of questions over the course of the season. I'm just curious, the last week or so, how's it been for you guys, and what's the vibe been like, and how's it compared to what it was like last year and before?
This last week has been great. We've got the regular season behind us. We got to the point we needed to be in the playoffs with a shot and relatively healthy with Wiggs coming back. So the vibe's been fantastic. Preparation's been really good. So we feel really good about what's ahead.
Steve and Killian, San Francisco Chronicle. You guys have, as Monty said, a lot of experience. You're the ratings champions. Mike, when he was just up here, constantly referenced that you guys have seen everything there is. You're playing a team that doesn't have virtually no playoff experience. Do you have to say something to your team to kind of caution against, don't be too overconfident about these guys?
No, I don't think there's any overconfidence. I mean, especially starting on the road, there's no way you let your guard down in game one of a series against a higher seed, against a team that we've seen 4 times that just won our division. There's none of that. I mean, we're not in a position to even do that. So the preparation has been with full attention on Sacramento and full respect, and they've earned that.
Tim Calhoun, The Athletic. Steve, you always want to start at home, obviously, but you guys have rarely started on the road, yet when you have, you've won game 1 2 of the times, you won game 2 the other time. Is there almost a focusing aspect to starting on the road? You've talked about it, sometimes on the road you're closer together, you're on your own. When you start on the road, do you feel that, and have you maybe felt that this time?
It's a different vibe for sure. You sense an opportunity right away. First game of the series, let's go take one. If you can do that, you set a really good tone for the rest of the series, and you put yourself in a pretty good spot. It doesn't guarantee anything. Whereas at home, it's more, hey, we got to hold serve, we got to win these first 2. So I think there's a little bit of a sense of freedom when you start on the road. Like let's go let it rip and let's go get it done.
Steve, Chris Peterman, Sacramento Bee. You've been with a bunch of groups in the postseason at different levels as a player, as a coach. When a group makes its first playoff appearance, what are the things that stood out to you in terms of what you learned maybe game 1, game 2 in that series? And was there any time anything was unexpected in terms of what you experienced?
You're talking about when I first started coaching the Warriors?
Yeah, sure.
They had already been to the playoffs for a couple of years, so they had playoff experience. So it wasn't like I was taking over a team that was really green. I think the experience came later on, after we had won a couple of rounds and then we're in the conference finals and then the finals. And those were new experiences for our group back then. And that's when I remember feeling like, I had to help them get ready for what was coming, just from, the hoopla, the media, and how different the finals are, especially. But the team that I coached in 14, 15 had already been through a few series. They were tested already.
All right, last 2, far right.
Coach, talk about the special nature of this playoffs. I mean, no matter what happens, this is the first time ever that the Kings and the Warriors have ever played in the playoffs. Is it kind of a win-win at all for Northern California, because you get this kind of rivalry where both teams' fans can go to the opposing arena to cheer on their team?
Yeah, we don't care about Northern California. We care about the Warriors. So, yeah, we want to win for our fans and for us. And, if that doesn't happen, then, it's not like we're going to, be there with pom-poms. Sure. All right, let's go Kings. It's like, I'd be very happy for Mike on a personal level. He's a great friend, and everything that he has meant to us and to me, I would for sure be thrilled for him. But yeah, there's none of that geographic pride. That's for sure.
All right, last one, Jake.
Steve, Jake Aiden from CBS 13. This fan base hasn't been in the playoffs in 17 years. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be in here tonight and then on game 2 on Monday?
It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. This has always been an amazing fan base. It's always a great vibe. Even the last 16 years coming in here, when they haven't had great teams, there's still a love for basketball, a love for the Kings. There's a vibe in the building that's really fun, and given the circumstances now with the quality of their team and the season they just had, this place is going to be rowdy. It's going to be fun.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.